Shalom, giving all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach us this truth. Peace, love, and blessings to the elect scattered abroad around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great, America. Okay, shalom, shalom, peace, and much protection unto the elect, the remnant. All right, I'm going to go straight into the lesson. All right, it was inspired by a video from the elder out of Vegas, Elder D.S.A, and his page is right here, GMS Vegas Sit Downs 144K. All right, basically that civil war energy being stirred up in Babylon, and it's over. And this place will not be healed, man, according to Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 8 and verse 9. Because at the end of the day, in which people do not understand, the Lord is doing his will and his purpose. This why we constantly tell you people day in and day out, through the Spirit, that this is the Lord's program. It is not of our doings. It is strictly Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is bounded by their words via through prophecies. All right, Revelation 19, verse 10. All right, the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right, and Yahweh Shai is coming in like manner of the Father, following his will and his purpose, his Yahweh. But nonetheless, all right, that civil war is brewing up as we speak, and it's via through many crises and many plagues that's happening upon the earth. And matter of fact, since I said plagues, I want to get a precept right quick in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, because we are in the last days, man. Push comes to shove, not push comes to shove, Salakia, whether you believe it or not. All right, wrong phasing of the words, but nonetheless, we are at the end, and the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, it is near and hasteth greatly, thus saith the scriptures. And at one twinkling of an eye, Jacob's trouble can be here, man. We are already at the beginning stages and the beginning of sorrows of Jacob's trouble, the troubling times like no other. All right, going to be far worse than any other calamities and atrocities that happen to the nation of Israel, because at the end of the day, Zechariah the 13th chapter verse 8 has to come to pass. All right, Zechariah the 14th chapter and verse 12 has to come to pass. Nuclear fire has to touch down in Babylon the Great, and majority of Israelites are in Babylon the Great via through the histories that happen, the timelines of the histories, and mainly the prophecies, man, because that's what it's all been about prophecies of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. There, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and I'm reading from my apocrypha that I have, all right, and that's what we're seeing, uproars of the people and earthquakes all around the world, man. But now it is really hitting and touching on Babylon, man. All right, the American people are starting to realize and really getting hipped onto the so-called corruption that's going on in the government, which was telling the people that these are the biblical Edomites, and they were put down here on the earth to be the rod of the Lord. And what I mean by that, the whooping stick, or that cruel Lord, or that cruel master that rules over the people, but with great wrath and with an iron fist. All right, he is using Esau Edom, man. Going back to Job 9, the 24th chapter. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is given the power over unto the wicked? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Until they be put out the way, man. And Lord will, I'm gonna get the NLT, because the NLT is gonna break it down simply how the Lord is using and it says in this head tiding, Assyrian is God's instrument. All right, that cruel instrument. All right, that matter of fact, Salakia, before I get that, let me get Ezekiel 21, parable of the sword of the Lord, and I'm gonna read verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face towards Jerusalem, and drop thy word toward the holy places, and prophesy against the land of Israel. All right. And it's the, speaking about a people before it's a place. And it's talking about the people of Israel. Okay. And say to the land, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, and will draw forth my sword out of his self, and will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked. Seeing then that I will cut off from thee righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of his stealth against all flesh from the south to the north. All right. And let me matter of fact, let me read it NLT, see if the NLT give a little proper more understanding. Because basically, ultimately, it was going into the destruction of Jerusalem, how the Lord was going to cut us off and, destroy us as a nation and as a people. Verse 4, yes, I will cut off both the righteous and the wicked. I will draw my sword against everyone in the land from south to north. Everyone in the world would know that I am the Lord. My sword is in my hand. It will not return to itself until the work is finished. All right. And that's ultimately that sword, that coming from the Lord, that ultimate sword is the nuclear missiles, man. That's going to finish off 2/3 in the times of Jacob's trouble and the end times when Lord Yahweh shall make his second return, because that's how he's going to punish Israel for the last and final time. That is the last final punishment for Israel, even though throughout secular history and prophecies, Israel always been, taken out of the way or being, trouted underfoot by the other heathen nations during their empire reigns, man. Okay. And it says, NLT, verse 9, Son of man, give the people this message from the Lord. A sword is being sharpened and polished. It is sharpened for terrible slaughter and polished to flash like lightning. Now you will laugh. Those far stronger than you have fallen beneath his power. Yes, the sword is now being sharpened and polished. It is being prepared for the executioner. And that ultimate executioner, because it reads in the KJV, that ultimate executioner is Esau, Edom, or pertaining to Isaiah the 10th chapter, spiritual Assyria. All right, the spiritual Assyrians, man. Okay, because they both have the same characteristics as being that cruel Lord and being the whooping stick for the nation of Israel. Okay, they have many similarities and characteristics, bringing back that ancient, vibration of the Assyrian Empire, and they oppressed the northern kingdom. Okay. Verse 11, Ezekiel 21:11, and he have given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished. to give into the hand of the slayer. All right. And the slayer is Esau Edom. Okay. So let me go back to Isaiah, the 10th chapter. It says Assyria is God's instrument. All right. And it's going back to, the kings of Assyria, the Assyrian captivity. Okay. So on and so forth. All right. And if I'm not mistaken, Salakia on this, correct me if I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, I'll do a little lesson on it. But I believe later on down the line, the Assyrians did, being the Neo-Babylonians, okay, further took down the southern kingdom later on. All right. During the time of the prophet Jeremiah. Okay. And went to the transition of the Persian and the Medes during the time of Daniel and so on and so forth. All right. And Lord will, I do a lesson on that, because I don't want to, butcher it, to the best of my ability. I'm bringing it out. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. All right. And Esau Edom has done that, man. And also, Esau Edom cutting those deals and having those contract deals with certain Israelite leaders and certain, the black community, and going into all these different religion groups and so on and so forth. They got ties within that too, putting out the false doctrines and the false narratives of the scriptures. Okay. And they all, basically all have, the same plan of destroying the Lord's people. Even though you're going to have sellouts amongst our people too. All right. For among my people are found wicked men at the end of the day. There's plenty of our people that none did backdoor deals with the devil, with the enemies, man. All right. And we know that through various of histories and lessons that our elders and apostles has taught us, via the past. Verse 2 again, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in desolation, which shall come from far, to whom ye will flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Without me thou shalt bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. All right. And the Lord is ultimately, like I said, in control and in the midst of all nations. All right. As it says in Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. All right. The Lord, like I said, I don't want to butcher it. Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right. The kingdom of, the nations. All right. And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over the bases of men. Okay. And the basis of man is a real low degenerate man. Okay. And we use this, and that's Esau Edom. All right. The son of the wicked. Even though this was talking about Nebuchadnezzar during this time. Let's see. Bases. It's, I think, Shapal.
Strong's H8215. Shafal.
I think it's Shapal, if I'm not mistaken, Salakia. And this is H8215. And it says lowest of statute, basis, See the root. To be or bringing low, humble. To bring low, subdue, put down, abase, humble, subdue. All right, the lowest of man. And that's ultimately is Esau, Edom, which the Lord is using for all this chaos that's happening in the earth. And since I say that, let me get Revelation 6. Revelation 6 and verse 4. And the head title says the second seal war. And that's the times that we are entering into. World War III is vastly approaching. All right. And through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, using these devils to set up the stages for that. Okay. Because also, while all this is going on, it's also setting the stages of a civil war. Because another civil war is going to happen upon Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. Because a civil war happened before. OK. And ever since the Edomites been into rulership, since the Greeks and the Romans, and later on after, the Renaissance and them coming back into power through, the French, the Spanish, the British, all right, or the English or whatever the case may be, and all the other, Edomite little empires that they had, even until future times, that the times that we are in right now, man. Okay, all this leads to their destruction of their kingdom. And that's what we're seeing before our very eyes at the end of the day. This is the end of Esau's world. His rulership is crumbling. Okay. And the Lord is doing this, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, because you got to ask yourself. And then on top of that, they are the devil. All right. That's in their genotype. They're created to be nothing but, just devastating creatures that just destroys and demolish, basically a cancer of the earth, the nation of cancers, man. That's basically what an Edomite is. Okay. Those that have the spirit of an Edomite. All right. Because the flesh, the outward appearance don't determine the individual spirit of who they are, because it determines by the seed of the Father. Nonetheless, Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And Esau, Edom, blessing, going all the way back to Genesis, was the sword, man. Okay. And also Cain, which is the reincarnation, coming back as Esau, Edom. His name is a omen, which basically means spear. All right. Which is a form of a sword or a weapon. And that's all Esau is known for. That's why he put all his money into his technology. All right. His things that he made man-made, man. His weaponries, his military might, because that's what he was created to be. All right. And going back to Isaiah, the 10th chapter, the Assyrians was a fierce nation that ruled at one point particular time. All right. So that spirit is still out there, and it cleaves more unto the Edomites. All right. So let me go back to Isaiah, the 10th chapter. And like I said, you got a lot of stuff going on in the world, to the point, like I said, people are real life talking and not foolish by the government no more, man. That's why in future times to come, like I said, that civil war is going to happen, and not, and it's not a coincidence that they just had this movie came out called Civil War, man. All right. Because at the end of the day, it's all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. We give credit to the Lord. Rather, this devil make a whole televised TV, just televise the whole world, right? Tell everybody the truth, what's going on, and blah, blah, blah. and that's it. But meanwhile, the prophets has been out here the whole time warning you that the Lord is doing all these things. He's the reason behind all these things, man. But you people still don't want to believe. Then you want to get a little conscious. Yeah, the Illuminati this, Illuminati that. You know how Jake is, man. As soon as they get a sip, a little sip of knowledge, motherfuckers think they a scholar, man. Like a 30, 40, 50, 60-year vet out this bitch. Like, come on, man. But that's Jake for you, though. That's Israel for you. All right? Disobedient and very prideful. All right? And I want to get a point. Verse. Hold on, Salaki. Verse 6, I will send him against a hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath. Will I give him charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets? Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. All right, because ultimately it is in their mind to think that they're doing all these things on their own will, free will power, man. All right, and they think they won't be cut off as they're cutting off many nations. Okay, and another thing I want to bring, that bill that they paid to the land of Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine, those nations over there, those people over there, sending off aid and stuff like that. It's still going to backfire Babylon the Great, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to make sure that these allies all are going to turn on the great whore. All right, that sitteth upon the beast. All these people that was once aligned with the beast, they're going to turn, man. And it's all going to be the willpower of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, ultimately. And let me read it in the NLT. Because like I said, I like it in the NLT how they explained it. It says, judgment against Assyria. What sorrow, verse 5, what sorrow awaits Assyria, the rod of my anger? I use it as a club to express my anger. That's the Lord talking, man. The Lord is doing this because ultimately he was at wrath with his people. But, and also future times to come, that final great judgment is going to happen upon Jacob again. The 2/3, man. That generation that wasn't chosen for salvation, because the elect will prevail of all. Even if the elect has to be martyrs and die for this truth and for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And we understand that as well. And we're okay with that. We're fine with that. If that have to be our lot, so be it. Because like I said, at the end of the day, Lord Yahweh Shai died for the nation of Israel's sin and his own sins. So if we may have to die for our sins, you just have to take it, take it on the chin, man. All right. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what real men do. Especially men of the Lord. That's what men of the Lord do, man. And thinking about that precept, Micah 7 and 9. Okay. But don't get it twisted. We're still striving and looking for salvation. All right. We're still putting our confidence in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We just have to keep that in the back of our minds as well. All right. Because especially in that time, ain't no need to bitch up. All right. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We already know what's up. We seeing everything slowly but surely creeping up around the corner. Okay. So, like our brothers, throughout the whole tree of great millstone, man, from the heads on down, the elders and apostles, it's time to tighten up. through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, because we are real life at the end. You know? And it's it's great, man. All right. We're seeing the prophecies come to pass. You know, our people are destroyed, and they're gonna get destroyed, but it's for the greater good, man. It's for the kingdom of heaven. It's for righteousness. It's for, to be one and to be at peace with our true God, man. All right. And that's worth it. It's a lock it for my rant. Isaiah 10:6. I am sending Assyria against a godless nation, against a people with whom I am angry. And that was Israel, man. All right. Being godless, being, disobedient. Okay. But at the same time, we are the Lord's people. Okay. And that hypocritical nation. Okay. Our people, and throughout histories and times, you see it all the time, how, the book of Judges itself, if you really just, all you have to type in and Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, evil in the sight of the Lord. See how many times it comes up. Because every time everything was good, that's when Israel always went astray. But as soon as things get bad, that's when they want to be the word, not the word Salakia, but that too. But the best servants that they can possibly be. And the Lord always forgave us. That's why the prophecies had to happen. And that's why Lord Yahweh shall die for our sins. Okay. But we have to pray. We still have to be part of that election, because ultimately he died for the elect first and foremost, so they can escape the death and destruction, the last final death and destruction, when Lord Yahweh Shai make his second return, because that's who's coming with it. He's coming in the name of the Father, but he's bringing that death and destruction that was always planned and written since the beginning of times, man. All right, since man and the heavens and the earth were created, they already had it in their minds and in their thoughts. They already had it planned out how it was going to be. But, especially, when Lord Yahweh Shai walked on the earth, hypothetically speaking, he already knew what was up, but at the same time, when he was of the flesh, he felt certain things that was of the flesh. All right. And I'm going to just, leave that right there. But they always knew the whole time, via through the spirit, man. All right. And the elect too. Okay. But us being the lesser gods, and throughout process of times, we had to be discontinued from our inheritance. We had to, be forgotten. Okay. And that's just how this, Cinderella story is, man. All right. Roughly paraphrasing. That's how the Lord set up for his people. And out of all people of the earth, it makes sense, because out of all nations, we're looked down upon, man. At the worst, the scummiest, the worst negative. But everybody needs us. Everybody wants us. You see? We God's chosen people. Continuing on, Assyria will plunder them, trampling them like dirt beneath its feet. But the king of Assyria would not understand that he is my tool. Yup. You the Lord tool, Esau, Edom. And you doing what the Lord is doing. Whether you, ban TikTok, ban hate speech, ban the Bible. You doing the Lord's work. You're doing prophecies, man. That's what you call prophecies. Famine of the word has to come. Then the Lord is going to speed up the destruction of your empire. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. And y'all going to be put. And you can't forget, there's more. Y'all got to serve y'all punishment, man. Y'all got to. Eye for an eye. Tooth for a tooth. You Edomites really, like I say, y'all Edomites are not innocent, man. Like, real talk. Y'all are not innocent. Okay? And y'all love to play the blame game. Okay? Don't take accountability. Like, can't even say like kids. The kids, goddamn, man. Well, the kids today, maybe, but yeah, it's just bad. All around bad. But the Lord is about to, cleanse it all. Verse 7. I'm going to read that again. But the king of Assyria would not understand that he is my tool. His mind does not work that way. His plan is simply to destroy and to cut down nation after nation. He will say, each of my princes will soon be a king. We destroyed Calno just as we did. Hold on, Salaki, I'm going to try to translate this. Oh, Lord. Spelled Karkishmesh, Salaki on the pronunciation. Hamath fell before us as Harpad did, and we destroyed Samaria just as we did Damascus. Yes, we have finished off many a kingdom whose gods were greater than those in Jerusalem and Samaria. So we will defeat Jerusalem and her gods, just as we destroyed Samaria and hers. And basically that's the pride of the Assyrians, you know. The pride talk of Esau Edom. We will not be cut off as a nation. All right. I sit as a queen. I am no widow. Okay. That's all the same proud, boastful talk of an empire or of a nation. And this is talking about the biblical Edomites, which have, like I said before, the same characteristics of having of that Assyrian empire. Okay, because it corresponds with each other. Though it's talking about, in the context, it's talking about, the Assyrians and during their time of reign, all right, ruling in the earth and how cruel they were. All right, but it also jumps around with certain different prophecies that's happened in the future. Okay, because the same thing is happening through the reincarnation. There is no new thing underneath the sun. Also have to understand that. Okay. That's why you have to believe in reincarnation. It's part of the scriptures. Everything happens for a reason. People do come back. All right. And the same spirits are playing out, playing out in certain individuals in the flesh, man. And even certain empires, the infrastructures. Okay. The laws. Okay, let me read verse 1 right quick. Isaiah 10:1, Salakia for the rant. What sorrows await the unjust judges and those who issues unjust laws? And that's what Babylon the Great is really doing. He passing unjust laws and the people are suffering at the end of the day. Well, the gross darkness, the people are suffering, but we are rejoicing. The elect that is of the light. All right, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the true name of the Heavenly Father in the name of the only begotten Son, man. All right, and it's been evidenced that from the ancient Paleo Hebrew, when you look at those characteristics of the Heavenly Father's name, it is pronounced Yahweh. All right, Yahweh. All right. The Heavenly Father, he exists. But only the elect will obtain that. And the rest will stay blinded. So let me and there's so much going on in the world. The bill that just passed. Meanwhile, like I say, the American people still broke. People still real life living paycheck to paycheck. People are not getting paid like that. But meanwhile, inflation is still happening, and hyperinflation will soon to come. And because that's just the times that we're living in. The times that we're living in is the time of the fall of Esau Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. All right, they are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. If your lineage go back to that, you are considered the wicked. No matter how nice you want to be on this side, no matter how much you got black friends, no matter how much good you do in the earth, if you are an Edomite, if your lineage go back to an Edomite, the Lord has special problems with you, man. And that's just how it is. We're just blessed to be Israelites, especially Israelites that know the truth. And at the end of the day, we still have to hold on until the end. Okay? Because all hell has not broken loose yet. Everything is still in so-called safe haven right now. Comfortability. All right. Throughout the whole Babylon the Great right now still, even though you still got little, calamities here and there, but it's going to escalate in days to come, soon to come. All right. And this also is going to put, loopholes in the economy. Already 30 or 40 something $trillion in debt. Meanwhile, you just passing out money, bro. It's funny that, like, these people are not the people of the Lord. All right. Even though you already know with the history of Israel, they'll tell you 1948. That's all I'm gonna say. Yup. And this is gonna cause sedition amongst men. It's gonna cause a civil war in Babylon the Great. People are waking up to this. People, like I say, eventually the people backs are going against the walls. They're gonna fight. But and it's so crazy because the Lord is just gonna have this bitch a big ass battle royale, man. Because on the side of all that, you're gonna have the people that's so-called against the government, blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. Then you're gonna have, the left wing and the right wings and the different protest groups going against different governments. Different government sectors are gonna be against each other. Okay. Neighborhoods are gonna be against each other. Okay. All that, man. Even certain groups within them being together are gonna be against each other, man. That's how much destruction that the Lord is really gonna bring upon Babylon the Great, man. But people don't understand that. They don't understand it. The shit about to get real ugly out here. Okay? Real ugly. Let me play the video.
Wobbly. The U.S. House of Representatives has resoundingly approved billions of dollars in military aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Speaker Mike Johnson pushed that measure despite a threat by the hard right to oust him. Maddie Beer Temple now has details.
The House of Representatives passed a $95 billion foreign aid package Saturday, approving billions for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan.
Peace is achieved through strength, and that is what this bill is about.
The package also has sanctions on Iran, humanitarian aid for Gaza, and a ban on TikTok if its China-based owner doesn't sell the app.
This app is a spy balloon in Americans' phones.
Members of both parties praised the emergency assistance as a way to fight bad actors and support allies.
This is about freedom versus authoritarianism.
The largest chunk of funding goes to Ukraine, with about $61 billion in military assistance to fight Russia's invasion.
If you choose the Putin route, you will have blood on your hands.
And while a handful of hard-right conservatives spoke against the Ukraine aid, they did not trigger a motion to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson over that vote. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene instead voiced her opposition on the floor.
We should be funding to build up our weapons and ammunition, not to send it over to foreign countries to kill foreign peoples.
House Speaker Mike Johnson defended the aid.
We would rather send bullets to the conflict overseas than our own boys.
Johnson said he's not concerned about efforts to oust him as Speaker.
You do the right thing and you let the chips fall where they may.
The legislation heads to the Senate, where Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said he plans to hold a vote as early as Tuesday. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer Temple.
You see, the United States taxpayer has already sent $113 billion to Ukraine. and a lot of that money is unaccounted for. This is a continuance of a sick business model that the American government continues. The federal government continues to fund the military-industrial complex, and this is a business model that requires Congress to continue to vote for money, to continue to fund foreign wars, and this is a business model the American people do not support. They don't support a business model built on blood and murder and war in foreign countries, while this very government does nothing to secure our border. The American people are over 30.
And that's what we've been telling you people for the longest, man. Your government is not for you. At the end of the day, is they are for policies. They answer higher ups. Everybody has a boss to answer, except Yahweh himself, man. All right, Yahweh Shah answered to Yahweh. Yahweh don't answer to no one. He is the ultimate king of the universe and of everything, man, of all living creatures. All right. But nonetheless, everybody have a boss to answer. So this government is not for the Babylonians. All right. And that's what's going to set these stages off as well, too. Let me get Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And ultimately, Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come on that fathership, but it's, all through the spirit of his heavenly father Yahweh. But, of course, we all know that Lord Yahweh Shai is going to crack those clouds. So he's coming on that big, massive ship that he's going to be riding upon as a swift cloud coming into Egypt. OK, because that's going to be another sign and the final signs of the downfall of Babylon the Great. Thus, with violence, does that great city be thrown down. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And they tried to do that, and they did it on live TV with the NATO or the WEF meeting. All right, forgive me on that. The WEF meeting that they had a few months back, going on about a year. They had a real life, witch doctor going up there. The so-called, I'm gonna use a word a man had said yesterday, man. They bless them out. All right. Had to bless them out, man. And that's what that witch was doing. They thinking they receiving a blessing, but in all actuality, they put a curse upon themselves, man. All they did was further put curses upon Babylon the Great. All right. Them seeking to the charmers and the wizards and familiar spirits, man. Okay. And to their idols. All right. Seeking for guidance. But, hey, this place is finished. Okay. That's why it's going down the trail that is going down now. That's why the American people are feeling this type of way towards their own government. All right. That's why this lady is going on a rant. All right.
$4 trillion in debt, and the debt is rising by over $40 billion every single night while we all sleep. But yet nothing is done to secure our border or reduce our debt. Inflation has driven out of control. Americans are suffering every single day. They can hardly afford their grocery bills. They can hardly afford gas in their car. They can hardly afford rent. And now mortgage payments are well over $3,000, where they were only just over $1,700 3 years ago. The youngest generation.
And ultimately, that's going into a Babylon the Great being destroyed systematically, financially, morally, spiritually, spiritually been going, but physically, this place will be thrown down, man, via through the up and coming World War III that we're seeing being brewed up right now. All right. So we have to also keep that in mind as well. All these things the Lord is doing.
Young adults don't even think they're going to be able to buy a home in their lifetime. And today in Congress, the most important thing that this body thinks should be done is to send another $61 billion to a war in Ukraine that the American people by 70% do not support. Mind you, this comes on the very heels of Monday being April 15th, tax day, where every single American had to scrounge up their money and send their dollars in to the IRS. Or some of them had to file extensions because they weren't ready and didn't have the money to pay their taxes. But today, this body says the most important thing we can do, no, is not reduce spending. That's not it. Not to do anything to drive down inflation. Oh no, we can't do that for the American people. It's not to secure our own border that is invaded every single day, by people from over 160 different countries. No, don't secure the American border. Let everyone in. We have over 1.8 million known gotaways. We don't know who these people are. And yet you have members of this body talking big and tough about, oh, we have to defeat Russia. Oh, we have to protect Ukraine. But yet all of you are unwilling to protect the American citizens that pay your paycheck, pay the light bills in this building, and pay for this entire federal government. For what? For nothing. Ukraine is not even a member of NATO. Ukraine is not a member of NATO. But the most important thing you hear in Washington, D.C. is, oh, we have to spend Americans' hard-earned tax dollars over to Ukraine and keep the money going to continue to murder Ukrainians, wipe out an entire generation of Ukrainian men so that they're...
I want to get this precept. Psalm 64:6. The point is in verse 8. They search out iniquities, or scheme. It says in my Bible, scheme to do evil. All right. And they work evils upon their beds, which I'm going to get Micah, the 2nd chapter as well, since I quoted it. Matter of fact, let me get it right quick. Because that's the mind of the Edomites at the end of the day. I guess, this lesson is going in on Edom, I guess. Hey, it's all through the Spirit, man. Because the Lord is using them. And once the Lord finishes using them, he's going to dispose. He's going to throw away. And he's still going to deal with his people. That's another reason why they so mad. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is always going to deal with his people no matter what. Even if he destroyed 2/3 of them, he still got a remnant. That's why he has the remnant, because he's still going to deal with his people. And the remnant is going to bring back the 2/3. It's just simple as that. Well, Michael got to be around here somewhere. Salakia, Hosea, Joel, forgive me. Jonah. There we go. Micah chapter 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right. It's in the power because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, or defraud. And that's what they done, the Edomites, man. And they done did that via through, secular history, so on and so forth. Like that, man. That was it on that. So let me go to Micah, NLT, Micah 2. Wealthy judgment against wealthy oppressors. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out simply because ye have the power to do so. And most of the time, to catch people off guard is, between the late hours of people being like vast asleep. All right. And another thing, they love to pass bills early in the morning. Okay, whether it be a Tuesdays or a Thursday. That's another thing too. Certain days that they do these certain actions, they pass them on certain days, man. I mean, Salakin, when they have like certain plans and bills to pass, they do it on certain days, man. All right. A lot of times it be, mainly on the Tuesdays, Thursdays, stuff like that. Always with a T. All right. Simply because you have the power to do so. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. Hey, Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Okay. Read on down, 5 on down a little bit. Okay. You start at the 5th verse in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Matter of fact. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, and that's Esau Edom, man, and that's the MO that he does. All right, that's how he gets down at the end of the day. All right. These devils don't care and love you so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans. All right. Continue on in verse 2. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family inheritance. And that's, hey, they stole, the 1948 land as they proclaim it to be their land. And they stole us, bringing us over here in cargo slave ships, man. All right. During that time frame. But that's, like I said, that's just how the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, had it set up for us to go astray, man. And to be punished for our sins and iniquities. Praying that we are of the elect, that we may receive salvation. Back to Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee thee. Basically, all these people so-called exposing within the governments, all right, the politics, Democrats, Republicans, exposing each other, man. Okay, and that's all that's been going on in Babylon the Great, just pointing fingers, a bunch of mindless zombies just pointing at each other, grunting at each other, man. But they just got on suits, acting like fucking wild animals, but they just got on suits. And they ruling the world. Because the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is going to put them back in their natural beast-like nature. You're going to know, just like how it says in that precept, narrowly look upon them, narrowly look upon thee. All right? And that's speaking to the other nations, because all the other nations, they was under hard subjection under the Edomites and how they came into power. But that was because of simply the sword, man. The sword gave them the power, okay? Through the spirit and power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, that was in Micah 2, so we get Isaiah 19. It's Isaiah 19 and 2. I will make Egypt fight against, Salakia. I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, providence against providence. And that's the same thing as, because I looked it up. I translate. Division of certain countries or empires, that can also go back to empires as well, territory, and it says something non-metropolitan areas, outside of the, metropolitan areas. Okay. Stuff like that. You can look further into it. I'm trying to think. Is there another way I can? Okay. Okay, Salaki. Verse 3, the Egyptians will lose heart and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums. Make sure I'm signing it up. Damn, Salakia. Look up. Spiritual medium. Pseudo-scientific practice, meditate, and communication between familiar spirits or spirits of the dead and living human beings. Means of communication. Okay, doing something. The agency or means of doing something. Intervening substance through which impressions, Salakia, are conveyed in a sense. All right. And those who consult the spirits of the dead. All right, basically, they're going to be seeking for that wisdom and for that left hand to deliver them, but it would not deliver them, man. All right. And ultimately, that's what's happening to this place, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. This place is being torn apart from the inside out, from all angles and aspects of life, man. The spiritually, physically, morally, financially. Okay, everything is deteriorating and declining in Babylon the Great. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This is the end of Esau's world, man. At the end of the day.
Widows, there are fatherless orphans, there are not enough men to work in their industries. Oh, but you really support Ukraine. Wow, what kind of support is that? It's repulsive. Shame on the American government. Shame on the American government. If we support our military, support our military. We should be funding to build up our weapons and ammunition, not to send it over to foreign countries to kill foreign peoples. And if this body was worth what it claims to be, what it is, every single one of us would be demanding peace in Ukraine between these countries, peace for these people, so that no more of them have to die. But you never hear anybody demanding peace. No. Peace is the last thing Washington wants because it doesn't fit the business model. This is a business model that they say continues our economy, protects American jobs. What a disgusting business model. We should have a business model that builds up our American companies and American jobs to serve American interests, and our military and our government should care about protecting the national security of the United States of America and the Americans that pay their hard-earned tax dollars to fund all of this. America last. America last. That's all this is. Every single day, America last.
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
I yield.
Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution.
And this is one of the another reasons they're going to take down. This shit funny. I'm sorry. It's a locky on that. This is another reason why they're going to take down TikTok and try to take down, platform medias of anybody, having the freedom of speech, and going to be label it as a hate crime or hate speech. The persecution is coming. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is about to visit the world which he's made.
Start a fucking revolution. You've got nothing to lose.
Want to learn the biggest secret in the world? In March 2023, sketchy billionaire Peter Thiel started a bank run. I did 1,500 hours of research, and I learned all their rotten secrets. The big one is that cryptocurrency is history's first planetary, multi-trillion-dollar Ponzi scheme. That's an economic doomsday device. And when that Ponzi goes insolvent, as all Ponzis must, we'll get the worst economic collapse in world history. And every powerful person you can think of is in on it. Want to know why everything gets worse and more expensive? That's because we live in a secret kleptocracy. That's when the government gets taken over by con artists whose only job is to steal from the public. And I hope you know this is wonderful news, because now that the public knows about the secret kleptocracy, they get to abolish their criminal government. Follow for more, or read this booklet.
Breaking news first at 5 for you tonight. A man from St. Augustine making world...
All right. That's enough of that. Then you got, like I said, you got news media, all this going on in the world. And this is going to bring sedition, man. Uprising of the people. It already said it's going to be uproars and earthquake in the world, according to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter in verse 3. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and will cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Matter of fact, let me type in. And it's not a coincidence that they made this film, man. Okay. For every purpose and under heaven, there's a time and purpose and season. Okay. Go there. A time for everything. Okay. And the times that we are entering into is division, hate, war, lamentations, woe, and destruction, man. All right, going back to Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter in verse 10. Because that's what's coming upon Babylon the Great. Thus with violence shall that great city be thrown down. And I'm going to continue on the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 15. And I'm going to jump down to verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And the modern day sword is the gun in today's time. For there shall be sedition or uprising among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. And that's basically civil war, man. All right. They're going to disregard the local state policemen. All right. Police department, fire department, medical field, certain mayors, the rulers of the counties and the states, the senators and all those people all right, that represents the state and the people of that state, okay? They're not gonna, they're basically gonna disregard all their actions and words, man. And that's why martial law is gonna come into the picture. And that's why if you read further down, a man shall desire to go into a city, verse 17, 2 Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And the tribulation is going to be terrible. All right. And that's what's going to happen. Even those groups that's going to be so-called supposed to be teaming up together and supposed to be surviving together, they even going to break apart. If you don't have Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai as your foundation and you truly don't believe, it will not stand at the end of the day. And that's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, have to have that trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And do not make haste when trouble happens, because we know it's going to happen. It's going to catch majority of the people off guard. Yes, that's true. Yes, we're going to be shaken up. Yes, of course. But we're not going to bug out like these people. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. People are going to turn on each other. Okay? People are not going to care about who were their neighbor or before, how nice they were, all the things that they did for them in the past, all that, hey neighbor, how you doing? How your day going? That shit's going to be of the past. All those, people that's showing fake love just to make themselves feel better, they're going to really show their true intentions in that day and in that time, man. The beast is going to come from out of the people. All right, out of the basically the 2/3, man. All right, roughly paraphrasing. Basically the 2/3. Because they're going to have no trust or no cloak of salvation or hope in their worthless minds, man. They're going to bug out in that day and in that time. Which is understandable because it's the great and dreadful day of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. But hey, we've been, teaching it for quite some time. We believe in it. We seeing the signs come to pass. All right. We seeing the great works of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And we also know that he is a God that would not lie or forsaking his righteous service, man. And his service being righteous by the grace and the mercy and bloodshed of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay. Verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these, verse 25, that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. Okay, that was it on that. It was another precept I was thinking about. Salakia. Salaki. It was a precept I was looking for, but I believe that was the end of the video, though. Lord will, I do another lesson on that. So with that, I'm gonna close out by saying Kahalayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that teach us this truth. All right. Peace, love, and blessings to the elect scattered abroad around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great. Shalom, shalom.